Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the December 10th Town of Cedar Lake Stormwater Board meeting. If you would please join in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance with myself.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Schmidt, could you please lead us in a roll call?
Ryan Leesick.
Here.
Patrick Collins. Benji Kinchlow.
Here.
Don Alton.
Here.
David Austin. Jeff Bungie. Eric Bosma.
Here.
Julie Rivera. And
Here.
Hi, Julie. And Wendy Schmidt here.
Okay, in review of the minutes from November 12th, was there anything that needs to be brought up or discussed at this moment in time? No. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th.
I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
Did you say a motion?
Maybe.
Like the song? Huh? Like the song?
You think you'll second that emotion?
Cool.
We all know that. I'm not going crazy, okay?
That's all right.
Getting close to the holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, in review of fund number 652, the total amount of $17,588.94. Was there, and this is the Storm Capital Improvement Fund, was there any questions in regards to this amount?
So I'll make a motion to approve fund number 650 in the amount of $17,588.94.
Just so I don't go to jail. Or we don't go to jail.
Wait.
These
Not the right amount.
these numbers aren't adding.
Yeah, they're not adding up right. So 650, according to the docket we got, was 14,244.08,
Hold on.
right?
Okay.
Hold on.
I made a copy of it. It's right in front of you. So if that's the wrong number, I can fix
Yeah.
that.
My brain's not mathing.
According to the docket list that we all got in our emails, 650 was, yeah.
Was that from Jennifer?
No, it's from Wendy.
In the packet.
Yeah, it was the.
This might have been last
attachment.
month's number on here, but did get changed. Right.
Okay, so I have one for $14,244.09.
Yeah,
That-
8 cents.
Or is it 8 cents? Hold on. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it's 8 cents.
It's old.
So that's what we're going off of?
That is 650. We'll have to add another line for Fund
654. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve Fund 650 Stormwater for the amount of $14,244.08.
I will second that motion for fund number 650 for $14,244.08.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Patrick Collins. Oh, I'm sorry, Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
And then there is a claim for the Fund 6, number 654, Storm Capital Fund for $1,093.03. Would we like to?
We'll have to add that.
Yeah.
That'll have to be added.
Amend the agenda.
Yeah, we'll have to amend the agenda. So I'll make a motion to approve Fund 654 Stormwater Capital for $1,093.03.
And I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oops.
Just trying to
Take
keep
my
us on our
rock.
toes.
Yeah.
Take my rock.
And you were right.
Took
That
my rock
was the
and go.
number from.
That was from last month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Update items the one and only Angie Mikolajczyk property at 12806 Lee Court.
I have nothing for you here.
Nothing?
Just wanna start scrolling down here really quick?
Yeah. Justin Lat's property?
Nothing, cause we need something from the town attorney about Sullivan, the neighbor.
Is there any way to move that? I mean, it seems like it's not gonna move because you got people who don't even own it.
I mean, it can move, I don't know why it's not.
Do you want to state something on the record as far as why it's not moving in a perfect world? What could make it move?
I don't know. Town attorney is aware of it, I don't know why it's not moving, I don't know why he's not giving any kind of updates, advice, anything to that, I don't know.
Wasn't his last update because,
He says that particular one that it is complicated, and the fact that he has been passed for so long, I think it's been 5 or 6 years, that either his son or daughter are
It's his
living
son.
there. Son.
yeah, son,
But the title is still in his name. So there is some, because he would have to be the signatory on any easement. The fact that he is no longer with us, I think that provides some interesting stuff to be done. I don't know if I have to go through like a probate court to do that stuff, I don't know.
I mean, he didn't,
Is there like a statute of limitation or
I would
like
think so.
7 years? Like if he's paying the taxes on it, doesn't he ultimately sell the
water
water?
rights?
I don't, yeah, well, yeah,
Talking to the wrong
I
person.
know, we're not legal, so.
Yeah.
This be a record for everyone to have their trust and will
Right.
set up.
I mean, I can email him again, but he doesn't work for me, so, Jeff would really reach out and get going.
At the end of the day, this is just something that's making the Lats project standstill, but it's a rather simple project and
Simple. I think Public Works has the pipe.
Mhm.
I think the pavement's right in socket. I mean, there's no point in switching that pipe out until we figure out something on his
If
property.
we did that like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
We
I've
don't-
done that for a while.
So we already have money invested into this project.
Yeah.
We have the material, we have basically everything to go ahead and push for this project, but we're kind of at a standstill because there's a guy who unfortunately passed and,
I mean, there's no point in replacing that culvert, because the culvert's actually kind of, because it's in such crappy shape, it's actually, call it helping the issue, it's not releasing as much water into his property as it could, but there's no point in upsizing that without doing the grading work on his property.
No.
It'll probably make it worse.
we can't do the grading.
We can't do the grading
Until
without
we get-
access on Sullivan, so there is no project until we
yeah.
do something, until we get access.
I mean, I actually think we were gonna replace that culvert pipe before he even came in with his complaint. I think because the road was starting to wash away. So it's starting to wear away on the one side, so we were just gonna replace it and then fix the road, but
We're gonna have to,
eminent domain, something,
I don't think we should do
for
that.
the greater cause, I don't know.
I think it has to, I'm not gonna talk about that, but is there anything we can do, like, to push our attorney to get us some type of update on, I mean, it's, at what point is it gonna be, you know, is it 10 years, 20 years, I mean,
I mean, I can do the best I can, but like I said, he doesn't really take orders from me.
town manager needs to step in.
that's what I'm wanting to push for, is to see if we get the town manager to kind of push our attorney to
Yep.
get something, let us know what's going on with this.
I'll get in contact with Jeff, he's not in line, but
I'll put a email out, just so there's something on the record.
you send one, I'll send one. We'll do it by volume.
Okay, keep that on update items. Moving on to, item C, Randy Schmidt, 13402 Schneider Street.
Should I keep this on, or?
I mean, he hasn't came in here in a while, and I know Bob mentioned something last meeting that he was still complaining about it, but he hasn't complained to any of us about it. I mean, we know that there's still a problem there, but it's gonna be a bigger issue like Don said, so.
I say you remove it. I mean, we won't hear anything about it until the spring if we do hear about it,
Yeah.
so.
Is that a bigger project, like a,
Yeah, I mean, that, we've kind of talked about that when it's the route to get out of the subdivision is very circuitous, and that kind of, if you designed it today, you wouldn't design it like that. But, you know, it's all undersized, it's essentially like a swale system almost.
Mhm.
So there's not much we can do unless we install the actual full-on storm sewer system to get it back to that pond in the southwest corner of the subdivision. So,
It's a hodgepodge of stuff. There's culvert pipes, ditches, some curbs, some basins. It's just all,
yeah, built in pieces.
Is the neighbor's garage built?
pretty much almost, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'd say take that off until he comes back.
should we make a motion to remove it? Do we need to make a motion to remove it?
I mean, 'cause when I talked to Randy over the summer, when we were over there doing his neighbors, and he said he knew about the problem, he was gonna fix the back problem himself, and he seemed perfectly fine to me. He wasn't complaining, he wasn't, you know, he was like, all right, cool, just, you know, keep me aware of what's gonna happen, 'cause I tried to explain to him, we need to do the front yard, we understand that, but it's a bigger project than just his house, so. 'Cause we cambered all what we could camera, and there's just, you know, concrete going into ductile, going into clay tile, half of them are, the metal ones are rotted, the whole entire street's gotta be done.
So my thought on this is, you know, these update items, like the Justin Latz, the Randy Schmidt, we're just gonna keep sitting up here and the same thing's gonna be over and
Right.
over, no update, no update, no
Right.
update. And it comes to a point where
Right, exactly.
there's not gonna be any movement on it, so I have no problem taking it off.
Okay.
I mean, at least Lats was approved by this board.
Yeah,
It's a viable project.
yeah, it's
so-
fine, like,
yeah.
that one's in a different hand,
Yeah.
right? So the Randy Schmidt one, you
Yeah.
know, that one ain't gonna move, and we're not gonna know about it until, like, when Don said. you
Yeah,
know,
I agree with
spring.
Don.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Don. If he comes in, I mean, he hasn't said anything to Wendy or I or anybody, no, Ted
We have
talked to
records
the
of
act.
it, you know,
Right.
we'll have records of it
Yeah.
from before, so
No
I
problem not talking about it further, but
Right.
for now, I think it's all.
I mean, once spring comes, we're gonna go over there and look to make sure that the grading was done properly now that his neighbor's garage is done. I mean, we'll go back over there and keep an eye on it, but we are aware of there is other issues.
I say we remove it off of there.
I'm fine by that.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the Mike Schmidt property at 7518 Lakeshore Drive, also known as Merton Drive.
Yeah, so we talked about this at the last meeting. We're gonna include this one as part of hopefully some overlay projects. Essentially this unplatted right away through here, the crazy amount of, slope to it. So we're gonna include that as part of some of the resurfacing we're doing up in what we're calling Shades AA. So, that'll be part of that. We're supposed to have a road committee meeting here with the 3 council people who are on that committee, prior to the end of the year to figure out when some of those projects may or may not go. We have community crossings coming up in January, we talked about that as well, so I don't know if that will go, if it'll be included in some of the, general obligation bonds that council passed last month. So that's kind of in council's court.
Okay, well, that's positive news. Okay, should we take that off for now, just because it's gonna be inclusive in another project?
We'll leave it on until that's actually got an idea about when it may go.
Or even included,
Huh?
to make sure it's getting included as well.
Yeah, so it's been included in our initial estimating. We have to turn that over to council to see, you know, because there's actually 2 other subdivisions we included in that project as well. So I don't know if they're going to choose or how much money is available, stuff like that.
Okay, moving on to Monastery Woods, 10026 West 128th Place. And my apologies, this is for the remaining public works projects that were approved that were ranked lower. Any update on the Monastery Woods project?
Nothing on that one. That's on Tim's agenda. He's aware it's approved. Same with Woodland Hills. I don't think he's done anything with either one of them.
Yeah, I mentioned to him about Monastery after the last meeting. We talked about maybe having PGX do it, and I threw that in his ears, so he kind of really didn't say no or didn't say yes, but knowing that PGX is kind of slow, we...
Didn't get cost associated with this?
We did.
Okay.
That one was small. I think it was 10 to 15,000.
Yeah.
Because it was really just, I think, extending a lateral in the rear yards of the road, kind of in the south central portion of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. The resident don't have no problem. They just want their sub pump connected to the basin that's in their yards, so.
That subdivision is kind of, was the precursor to some of the new stormwater language about rear yard spacing.
The Monastery Woods south?
North.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah, 129. This clubhouse
It's on
over here.
the corner.
It's right
That's
here.
with the other millionaires.
Yeah, the other millionaires.
I bought it at a low point, I think on that one.
That's an elite neighborhood right there.
Gotta keep it PG. Gotta keep it PG.
Yeah, but there's no, like I said, there's no problem. They just called and wanted us to hook their sub pump up. But I know that's got a lot of utilities behind the easement ways, so.
Yeah, it's when they were still installing utilities in the rear.
Yeah.
I don't do them anymore.
I mean, I can mention to him again and see what he wants to do with it, but we're running limited on time now. Once the ground freezes, there's really not much we can do, so I don't know what he wants to do.
Good time they do it.
Yeah.
PGI available, I think they have some availability too. So.
I mean, yeah, Tony from Sewer was saying that we're gonna do some other stuff up on like by 141st area.
They were gonna do a sewer replacement in shade.
So I don't know when they're gonna start on that, but I
It'll
mean,
take them a little while. That sewer's pretty deep, so.
I mean, that one won't take them very long, and we usually help PGX anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, at least that one's shallow.
Yeah.
Pretty quick, as long as the fences aren't problems and utilities, so.
Yeah, so, I
Yeah.
mean, I'll say something, mention it to Kubiak again.
Okay.
Okay, then touching base on that Dewey Street lateral at 14616. That's that Frick?
So we have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Frick. I don't know if it's been formally scheduled, but the date's thrown out. Either, well, the 9th, which was today, or yesterday, or the 11th, and then the 16th, so nothing's been set though. So I'm not sure what's going to be discussed. It's kind of a yay or nay, year in, year out. So I'll update you on the next meeting, see where it goes.
Okay, moving on to additional projects with 2024 project rank. Item A, Shade Subdivision, West 140th Ave, curb and gutter. That is complete, correct?
That is complete, billed out, and it's even officially closed with the state, so that one's done.
Nice.
Did it get on now?
Woods of Cedar Creek is done, minus some probably restoration next spring, and I think we still have like 2 sprinklers to repair, is what I was told. Maybe a cracked piece of sidewalk.
Yeah.
So what's not on your agenda, I think Wendy sent it out though, included the first pay request. There's only going to be 2 on this. We're withholding about 5% retainage, just to kind of account for some of those punch list items next spring. Just making sure the
saw it takes too, 'cause it was digitally installed pretty late. So, so I think we have to amend the agenda for not only the pay application approval, but also what we call balancing change order. It's what we kind of do at the end of projects, just to clean up work completed, work not completed, and balance out the final numbers. So the first pay application is in the amount of $80,332.76. So that's the entire project cost minus 5%. So I'm going to amend the agenda to approve that.
Okay. In review of the Woods of Cedar Creek Drainage Improvements Phase 2 pay request number 1, Christopher Burke Engineering, project number 060015.003, to the amount of $80,332.76 to PGX. Can I receive a motion to approve the payment of this invoice?
I make a motion to approve the payment of that invoice, the amount that you stated.
And I second that motion.
Ryan Leesick,
Yes.
Benji Kinsler,
Yes.
And then, like I said, the second would be change order number 1, which is a balancing change order to balance out quantities. The overall cost of the contract remains the same, which is $84,560.80. This will allow for final payment come spring, some of the punch list items.
Do you just want to do the balance of the retainer?
You're really just approving the change order. It's no change to the contract value.
Okay.
It's just we do this to kind of zero out quantities that weren't used, some quantities that went over. It balances it to the current contract, just closes everything out. We also don't need to do it now. We can do it with the final payoff in the spring. It's kind of up to you. It's just cleaner.
To do it now.
Yeah.
So is that $4,228?
It's not even
A number?
it's not even a number. It's really just a contractual thing.
So we'd just be approving the
You're
change
approving
order?
a change order number 1, effectively. And you can say there's no actual change to the contract value. You can see that on the left. Original contract, $84,560.80. Current after the change order is still $84,560.80.
So we'd just be approving the change order, item 1?
Yep. That's it. Change order number 1.
So I'll make a motion to approve change order 1.
And I will second that motion for change order number 1.
Ryan Leesick,
Yes.
Benji Kinsler.
Yes.
Then I need Ryan, you to sign that at the end of the meeting. Or Jen. I don't care.
I don't know if it's printed.
I don't have that printed.
I got it printed.
Don's got it, don't worry. Don made sure he brought it.
Print everything.
Good call.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be cleared out. We'll figure that stuff out, the remaining punch list stuff in the spring. So you can keep it on there, and we'll update it as we go.
Okay. Moving on to the Woodland Shore Storm Sewer Improvements, Hines property, also known as Moore Becker property.
So, I actually had to reach out to David, or actually I was asked to reach out to David and something else on 130. It's an unrelated home here on 136th Place. I was asked to provide some information on that lot. At the same time, I provided the information again on the easement we're waiting on, which is the one east of Mr. Becker's old parcel, which is the Osan residence. So that doesn't have a project either until we have that easement.
And that easement is being held up due to the town attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep that for update for next meeting. The next item is the Schubert Dodge Street Storm Sewer System.
So I think I sent you an email, everybody on the board, that we did receive the proposal from DVD. Okay, it said 12 to 15 at the last meeting, and came in at about 17. Just because Lakeshore Drive is so busy, I get it. It's a little more busy work to do. So I just wanted to get your blessing before I signed off on it, since it was moderately higher than what I guessed. $2,000 higher, but figured I'd get your blessing before I signed it.
Do you think you still have time to meet the application due date?
For CCMG?
Yeah.
Oh, heck no. No, I mean, they quoted 25 business days. So that's 5 weeks. So, no, absolutely not. I mean, it was gonna be an extremely stretch. I think they said at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So,
I just wanted to keep you on it.
yeah.
Okay, so doing it now saves time going into the future. What's the benefit? So what I'm getting at is, what is the benefit of doing it now instead of waiting?
Gives you an idea how much it's gonna cost. So right now, we're kind of spinning our wheels, and if you could potentially include it as part of more of a roadway project and share in those funds for CCMG. I mean, we need that information to do cost estimating on a big enough level to be confident if we do go in for funding. Otherwise, it's just gonna be, I don't know. Right now, it's just kind of a pencil napkin.
Yeah. So then once you
Project.
develop the scope, you're just updating pricing to being reactive to another CCMG or potential.
Yeah, I mean, if it sits for a while, and our estimate sits for a while, we can update that rather easily just based on what we're seeing in the industry about, you know, escalating unit costs or something like that, but at least you have something that, you know, it's gonna cost X amount of dollars. When funding's available, we know it's gonna cost. It won't take much to get to the end of the road to, you know, finalize it and actually make it into a project, so. Yeah, I mean, the Mary Jones Street down there, 132nd Place in Marquette, we actually have a survey of that from 2018. We looked into that quite a while ago. So they don't actually have to survey that, it's just gonna verify that nothing's changed.
Okay.
So, hence the two numbers on the proposal. But, yeah. I mean, there is gonna have to be some type of roadway component to it, there just is. Just based on how much demo we gotta do to get the old system out. Obviously, that's more so on Dodge and Schubert and all those streets up there. Lakeshore Drive should be pretty well preserved, if we can figure out a way to construct it without ripping up pavement.
So that 1,700 covers both scopes.
Hmm?
The 1,700 covers both scopes,
17,000.
or 17,000, I'm sorry, 17,000.
Yeah, so that would update the survey on 132nd and Marquette, and then do all new survey up in Fire Manor Terrace. Because you will most likely have over $500,000 in your overall budget starting in '25. I think Jen said we had $453,000 of approved estimates for '24, and we've only spent like 75. So that overall budget, I mean, I expect other stuff coming from Public Works to bring that down a little bit, but I have no idea when or if that might come in, those POs. I don't know.
So we need it regardless, the topo.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
do-
the first step of developing a project and trying to figure out, you know, we need to figure out, especially if we can get a new system over to Potawatomi, that's one big thing, and then see how much it costs. Right now, that's just kind of a, no pun intended, pipe dream in my head right now. Until we get survey to verify we can do that, that's all it is.
So we need a motion to approve this.
Yes. Do you,
Yeah,
up for discussion?
I mean, we're gonna need it regardless, I mean, might as well just pull a Band-Aid off.
I'll start somewhere.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve, the cost to complete scope 1 and 2 for 17,000
Flat.
flat, $17,000.
I think that either way that this project is needed, and, this has been something that has been talked about for some time and has been, expressed for decades that needs to be, addressed, and I think this is the first step in addressing that, so in conclusion, I second the motion of
Right.
$17,000.
Ryan Gleason,
Yes.
Benji Kinch.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to new business.
Pat's not here, but Eric kind of went out to that site that he brought up at the last meeting. It's 12806 Marsh Landing in Havenwood. That pipe that's kind of heading into the, out of Havenwood into the CSX Railroad embankment. It's up here. Down here, there's a pipe stubbing out of the subdivision into this very steep bank. Eric went out there, said it's pretty bad shape. Problem is it's most likely not in the Havenwood subdivision.
No, it's
It's actually in the CSX
it's
part,
at the bottom of the ravine,
which
Oh.
puts it
so.
well
That is-
outside
Yeah,
of it.
that's well outside.
And we do have an easement between 27 and 28, 6-foot easement, and actually the fences are actually pretty much in line with the easements, but getting down to that from up there is not gonna work.
No, I couldn't even get down there. I had to look over, and then Tyler started to go down there a little bit, and he noticed that the water was flowing out of it, so it's way down. I don't know if that's, like I said, I think it might be 20, 30 feet down.
And that is CSX at
Yeah.
that point, yeah.
Yeah. And they own like 2 pies.
I mean, it's the outfall for the Havenwood subdivision, but I don't,
Not a big
if you-
outfall, it's a
yeah.
12-inch pipe.
but if you GIS like now, that's
Yeah.
technically.
Bottom of it's well into CSX, so
Yeah.
we'd have to get their blessing to somehow get up there, and I don't even know how to get up there.
Yeah, I know you mentioned maybe go through,
You can go off of the, American Legion maybe,
but
because they kinda own this funky, triangle.
she'd have to drive the machine all the way down past Kubiak's house and.
Yeah, but that's when the slope starts coming in. You'd have to jump on the CSX somewhere, and you'd be on CSX property.
You would have to use the railroad to get to it.
Yeah, they're not going
They're
to,
not the best to deal with.
they're not that far.
And we don't have a machine that'll reach down enough.
I mean, we can try to pin it on CSX and say, look, this
I
is
mean,
in your right
you
away,
can.
you guys fix it, but I don't think that's gonna fly.
I mean, probably not, but,
We can try, I mean, we haven't fair contact with them,
I mean, we were messing around with it on Burr Street.
and they got mad.
No, I mean, the guy came by and then Tim King was talking to him. Tim King supposedly has all the contact information for CSX. They told us to go ahead and clean that ditch out, as long as, he said the only thing is when you hear a train come, basically get out of the way and wait for the train to go by and then go back to keep doing it, so.
Yeah, what,
One would think you'd have to tell you that.
And that was at March or April,
yeah, but, I mean,
but I mean,
there's a lot of,
Speculation.
yeah, I mean,
Very upset.
yeah, and they
Yeah,
can
'cause
find you a lot of
if
money.
something happens, then,
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
it makes sense to tell someone if you hear a train, get out of the way, but,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really them taking the responsibility on them and saying,
Yeah.
you know,
We can send an email to them, see what they say, tell them the location we have, the concerns, and see what they say, anything, but most times they don't even respond.
No,
Like
no,
that
we
bad.
just, we were luckily, by chance, the guy was going by in the pickup truck on the railroad track, and Tim stopped him. And he's like, hey, man, you mind if we do all this? And the guy's like, I don't, just stay out of the way, you know?
Probably their it's probably their ditch.
Yeah, well, it is, and they said, you know, now we don't have to do it, so go ahead.
It was probably a brand new track person too.
Yeah.
He's like,
But I mean,
don't know what the rules
there's,
are."
right in that section, there's culvert pipes going underneath that, and they're all garbage too, but we can't do anything with them, so.
It's a railroad.
Cause we have culvert pipes coming underneath the road going to that ditch, so those are ours, but anything around that area, they said, leave it alone, do not touch it, don't mess with the rocks, all that,
Was
so,
it 25 feet on 25?
No, there's 100-foot right away,
yeah.
from center.
It's like half the road too, and,
Yeah.
And they're 50/50s. They're big. So, I mean, we got some contacts, we can at least try to reach out. I mean, what needs to be done? Is it just under?
I can't even see it, without going down there, I can't even see it, and it's full of brush so much that there's no way of walking down there, we'd have to walk the railroad track to get to look at it.
Get a drone.
Yeah. Get the police department to fly there.
Yeah, get a drone.
I wish Public Works had a drone, that way we could check all the outfalls around the lake too, but
We can't have anything.
we, we break everything we touch, so we're not allowed to have anything nice.
Can't have nice things.
I'll let you borrow mine.
I don't, that'll get broke too, so.
Yeah, but I got insurance on it. I mean, it only costs us $60 a month. A year.
I mean, we could reach out to them, see what they say.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
yeah.
shot in the dark, but,
So do you want me to add that to the agenda for next?
yeah, just end it. Then just add it.
I mean, I'm thinking where Pat's getting at, I wish the guy was here tonight and had pictures, but there is a little bit of an indentation in the yard itself, but it looks like the sub humps were randomly ran out, and I think maybe the sub hump is where it's dipping in the ground,
Yeah.
so, cause that's on their property right before it gets to that easement that goes down in the ravine,
drop.
so. I mean, maybe that's what he's talking about, I mean, I don't know.
Because there's no way
Back here.
connect to it.
No, and it's so far down that, I mean, honestly, a normal resident wouldn't even really notice it unless you gotta go, like, right to it and look down.
I mean, if it's that deep on the bottom of that slope, I mean, it's gotta be pretty deep in their yards.
Those basins are deep in that neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Storm is not, no, roads aren't us, storm is.
Roads aren't us, storm and, water's us.
Okay. I mean, it's worth a shot. Take 2 minutes, put an email together.
I mean, unless we could camera it too.
If you ever get
I
one
mean,
back.
we could camera it too, but I don't know how far Tony would wanna go with the camera to look up.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know what needs to be done, we just, access is gonna.
I mean, it is washed out, where you could see it, the water's running and it's washing out, I don't even know, I didn't even see any riprap, like, even going out to whatever, that is a ditch.
Well, I'm curious if it's like overhanging, which
There's a
means
lot of them in that subdivision that
the
are
flare
like
end
that, too.
section's dropped off, or the joint's starting to split, or,
I'm sure, probably.
That's what it sounds like.
yeah. I don't know. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Send an email
Cross your fingers.
to their box that never gets checked.
Just the CSX at csx.com.
Yeah. Don't reply at csx.com, you might actually get a response back.
Yeah, right.
We don't monitor this, please email this person.
I'm telling you, the guy in that pickup truck was really reluctant to stop. He just wanted to keep going, and Tim's like, hey, hey,
He
hey.
said he was probably a new track person.
Jump on the track.
He's like, can I get your boss's information? I'm not allowed to do that, but, you know.
Probably doesn't know who his boss is.
It's probably not even from around this area, it's probably from down south.
My buddy works in, he's down south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, put that on, an agenda item, maybe we'll have some correspondence back.
Over the holidays. Hilarious.
Okay, so moving on to public comment. And if there's any comments from the audience and also our virtual audience, once again, please raise your hand online
Nobody?
or approach the podium and state your name and address.
So well put.
Alright.
Okay. Without further ado, we'll close out the last Stormwater Board meeting for the town of Cedar Lake for the year 2024. We will see you January 14th